Okay, so imagine this, right? You've got this killer business idea, you're fired up, ready to take on the world, but then, bam, you hit a wall, and that wall is stop building your online presence.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like everyone expects you to be a coding ninja A&D marketing guru these days, just to get your foot in the door.
Right, it can feel pretty overwhelming. But what if, and stick with me here, what if there was a way to make that whole process smoother?
Smoother, like frictionless.
Exactly. And that's where this deep dive comes in. We're really digging into Ego Creative Innovations, a company that's all about UI, UX, and no-code web development, but also your partner for digital marketing needs. I mean, that's a mouthful.
It is, but it sounds like they're trying to cover all the bases for entrepreneurs who don't necessarily want to become tech experts overnight.
100%. And get this, their website is throwing out some seriously impressive numbers. Over 2,400 projects launched since 2005, a 4.9 out of 5 customer satisfaction score, which is wild, and a 92% NPS score.
Okay, a 92% NPS score. Now that's impressive. That tells you their clients aren't just satisfied, they're going out of their way to recommend Ego to everyone they know.
Right. It's like they've cracked the code for happy clients. But there's one thing on their website that really caught our eye, this ready-made online business kit. It sounds almost too good to be true.
It does have a certain ring to it, doesn't it? Like, sign me up.
Right. So naturally, we had to do a little digging. We checked out the founder, Eugene Polyansky's LinkedIn profile. Always a good idea. And it turns out this guy's been in the tech game since 2002.
So not just a pretty website then. He's got the credentials to back it up.
Exactly. But here's what I find really interesting. You know how I always say, it's not just about the tech, it's about the vision.
Always.
Well, Eugene seems to get that. On his LinkedIn, he's always talking about the bigger picture, clear objectives, strategic planning, understanding what drives business growth.
He's connecting the dots between the tech and the actual business goals, which I imagine really resonates with entrepreneurs who are, let's face it, already wearing a million hats.
Completely. And you know what else caught my eye? There's a quote on his LinkedIn about how he explains technical stuff to clients, and he basically says, don't be afraid to spend extra time explaining things. You, as the specialist, you get it. Your client might not.
That's a breath of fresh air, honestly. It shows a real commitment to communication and making sure everyone's on the same page, which can be so rare in the tech world.
No kidding. Okay, but let's circle back to this ready-made online business kit because I'm dying to know what it actually is.
Me too. From what I gather, it's supposed to be this turnkey solution, especially for entrepreneurs who are just starting out or, those who want to level up their online presence quickly without having to learn how to code or become marketing masterminds.
Okay, that makes sense. But what does ready-made actually mean in this context? Like, what are you actually getting in this kit?
So they handle a whole bunch of stuff, designing your brand identity, giving you a custom logo, setting up your email marketing system, scheduling content updates.
Wow, okay, hold on. So this isn't just a basic website we're talking about.
Oh no, it's way more than that. It's a fully functioning website that's ready to launch, like from day one.
Okay, now you've got my attention. What else is included?
They also throw in social media templates, ongoing support for when those inevitable tech gremlins pop up.
Okay, so they're saying they'll take care of the website, the branding, the marketing. It's almost like they're handing over a fully furnished digital storefront. But I've got to ask, what about the behind-the-scenes stuff? Where is the website actually hosted? And what about data security, especially for customer info and all that?
You're hitting all the right notes. Those are definitely questions you don't want to gloss over. So based on Ego's FAQs, they use Webflow to host their client websites.
Webflow. Okay, I'm familiar with that.
It's a solid choice for sure. It's a well-regarded no-code platform, and it's got a good reputation for both speed and security, which is crucial. And for things like customer relationship management, they've gone with Airtable.
Okay, another big name in the no-code world.
Exactly. And like Webflow, Airtable takes data security very, very seriously.
That's good to know because, yeah, you definitely don't want to be messing around with customer data. But speaking of data security, what about email marketing? That's a whole other can of worms.
Absolutely. You do not want your email list ending up in the wrong hands. That's a nightmare scenario.
Right.
But it looks as they've got you covered there, too. They've teamed up with MailChimp for email marketing.
MailChimp, solid choice.
Yeah, they're a major player in the email marketing space, known for having really robust features, but also top-notch security.
Okay, that's reassuring. So it seems like they're not cutting corners and they're using some real heavy hitters in the no-code world.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Given their whole thing is about providing this seamless, worry-free experience.
Totally. But you know me, I always have more questions.
Hit me.
So, say you're already using a different email marketing platform, right? Like you're already committed to ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign or something like that. Can you integrate those existing tools with Ego's system?
Now that's where things get interesting. While their main focus seems to be on this streamlined out-of-the-box solution, they do offer what they call their Flow Machine service.
Flow Machine service.
Yeah, and from what I understand, it's designed for more complex needs. And that might include, custom integrations with specific tools you're already using.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not a completely one-size-fits-all approach. There is some flexibility built in for those who need it.
Exactly.
But that kind of highlights the classic trade-off, right? Convenience versus customization.
100%.
Right.
You gain speed and simplicity with a ready-made solution like this.
Right.
But, and there's always a but, you might be giving up some level of control over, all the nitty-gritty details.
It's like choosing between a pre-furnished apartment and designing and building your own custom home from scratch.
I love that analogy.
The apartment, it's move-in ready, but you might want to repaint. You might want to swap out the furniture to really make it your own.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to really get clear on what are your needs and what are your priorities.
Right.
For some entrepreneurs, especially those just starting out, that convenience and that speed of a ready-made solution, that's going to be far more valuable than, having granular control over every little thing.
Right.
But for others, maybe they've got really specific technical requirements or they just like to do things their way. That trade-off might not be ideal.
Totally. Totally. And I think that's where, doing your homework like we're doing right now is absolutely essential.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the speed, the convenience, the customization, but let's get down to brass tacks. What are Ego's clients actually saying?
Yes, because, glowing marketing copy only gets you so far. What matters is, can they deliver on those promises in the real world?
Show me the receipts.
Exactly.
Well, good news. Ego's website has a whole section dedicated to client testimonials. So let's dive in and see what we've got.
Let's do it.
Okay, this one caught my eye. This is from Alexandra McGuigan. She's the founder and CEO of IAM. And she says, and I quote, "The level of service was excellent. We worked together collaboratively, and they were receptive to my ideas."
I like that she highlighted the collaborative approach because that goes back to what we were discussing earlier about Eugene's emphasis on clear communication and, really building those strong client relationships.
Totally. Okay, here's another one, this time from Brianna Sochi, the director of operations at UberDoc, a health technology company. She specifically mentions that before Ego, they were missing a proper admin portal, and it was actually costing them customers.
Oh, wow.
She says that Ego delivered great quality for our budget and allowed us to do things we weren't able to do before.
It's always more impactful to hear those real-world examples of how a service directly solved a pain point and actually led to tangible results. Like they saved them customers. That's huge.
It is huge. And I think what I'm finding really interesting is the diversity of clients that they're showcasing on their website. We've got startups, established businesses, CEOs, directors of operations. It seems like their approach really resonates across industries and experience levels.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It definitely adds to their credibility to see such a wide range of satisfied customers. And it kind of indicates that their solutions are adaptable enough to cater to different business models and stages of growth.
Right. If they can handle the needs of a scrappy startup A&D, a seasoned corporation, that says something. So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've got Ego throwing out these impressive numbers, talking about a big vision for entrepreneurs. And then on top of that, they've got all these happy clients singing their praises. It's a lot to process.
It really is. And it does make you wonder, have they actually figured out the secret sauce? I mean, they've managed to package all this complex tech stuff into something that feels, approachable, even, dare I say it, easy.
Well, that's the whole promise of the no-code movement, isn't it? It's about making it possible for anyone, even if you don't know code, to build something amazing online.
Absolutely. And that's huge because it used to be that you needed a whole team of developers and designers just to get a basic website off the ground.
Oh, totally. But like we were talking about earlier, there's always this balancing act, right? Convenience versus customization. You're always going to be trading something off.
It's true. And with something like Ego's ready-made kit, you're essentially deciding how much control you're willing to give up in exchange for, that ease of use and that built-in support system.
Exactly. So for anyone listening thinking about taking the plunge with Ego or any other ready-made solution, here's the question to ask yourself. Do you thrive on getting your hands dirty with the technical stuff, or would you rather hand that off to the experts so you can focus on what you do best?
Because at the end of the day, there's no single right answer. It all comes down to knowing yourself, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and honestly, your risk tolerance.
Totally. And it's worth remembering that even if Ego's particular flavor of ready-made isn't your cup of tea, the world of no-code is massive, and it's only getting bigger.
That's what's so exciting. There are tools and resources out there for every level of customization and complexity you can imagine.
So our final thought for you, dear listener, as you navigate this exciting world of online business is this. Don't be afraid to experiment, play around, try different things.
Find what works for you, for your business, for your vision, and build that online presence on your terms.
Couldn't have said it better myself.